Okay, a warm welcome to habit number 16. Before getting on to that, first thing we're going to do, as always, is a recap of the advanced habits so far. So the first one, habit 12, is taking 100% responsibility for everything in your life. It's where mental clarity comes from. Very good place for change and growth. 13 is emotional freedom, which is removing all that emotional baggage that weighs us down. 14 is emotional release tools, which builds on 13. Tools to help you release stuff on the everyday, cleaning and clearing so you don't take it on. Habit 15 last night was authenticity and values. So you're starting to live a life of purpose and power, and let the authentic you come through, because that's where a fulfilling and happy life comes from, living your purpose. Okay, so tonight we're moving on to habit 16, which is self-esteem and self-confidence. Okay, so let's get on to the buckets. You could probably guess these. So the primary buckets we're working with tonight, once again, are your mental health and your emotional health, the heart center. Quite obvious, this one, really. And the secondary buckets are social health and your physical health. Now, if we go through life with a good self-confidence, self-esteem, social health is greatly impacted because we're more likely to be out there, and our physical health because we'll feel better and we'll project a better energy. Okay, so get rid of the buckets. So let's talk a definition when we mean self-esteem, self-confidence. Now, self-esteem could be described as how we internally value, respect ourselves, whereas self-confidence is more about how we judge ourselves, our ability to go through the world. Now, we're going to treat them hand in hand as though they're the same thing, because if your self-esteem's good, your self-confidence tends to be good with it. You can fake the confidence and have a low self-esteem, but what we're looking to here is build both. Now, most of the advanced habits will work on your mental health and your self-esteem anyway. Okay, but we're going to give you tips and tricks here to work on them, because what happens, good self-esteem, good self-confidence. Now, we all want a nice life and do lots of happy, adventurous things and feel good. Now, when we have a good self-esteem and a good self-confidence, it's likely to open more doors for us because we're likely to try more because we feel up to it. Okay, if we're struggling, we tend to shy away from the world. Okay, so everything we've done so far in the program, this is building an extra layer of confidence and self-esteem, so you're more likely to engage with the world. Okay, now the unfortunate thing with society, if I bring up the old map, conscious and subconscious, it programs us and gives us the societal norms we think we've got to adhere to, tends to lower self-esteem, especially for women, where they're told you've got to look this way, a certain way, through magazines and social pressures. Okay, and that can lower self-esteem because we're always comparing ourselves with everybody else. Okay, now, with a lot of stuff we've done in the program, it's all about going inside and doing it from the inner work rather than letting the outside circumstances dictate to you. Okay, so what I want to do is build the self-esteem, build the self-confidence. So we're going to treat them as one. Now, the first one, outer confidence, is very, very simple. It's a posture thing. It's imagine you've got a wire from the top of your head connected to the roof or connected to the sky, pulling you up. Okay, so it pulls you back straight and you're looking ahead. Okay, so you're just walking, you're just going around the world with a more confident posture. This is where you can fake it till you make it, as they say. Now, in my military days, when I joined in 1987, seems a long while ago, we had to do a drill. And one of the things in drill, stand to attention, shoulders back, drilled on this. And I noticed when I went home first weekend or two, people around me would notice how straight I would stand because we were drilled and drilled and drilled. So it was shoulders back, hands, shoulders back, back straight, and you look ahead. Now, that gives you a confident posture. So when you go out into the world, just doing something like that projects a more confident energy. Even if you're not quite so confident inside, it's a step in the right direction. People will treat you slightly different because the energy is coming from you. Okay, so that's outer confidence. But the big one is inner confidence. And that's what we're going to move on to now. A very good way to build it. Now, with everything, this isn't about going from 0 to 60 in phenomenal confidence. It's just practicing it and building it bit by bit. So the second one, and this comes from the famous hypnotherapist, Paul McKenna, what he teaches people. Put this book up again later. Brilliant resource. Now, it's getting a nice relaxed state where you won't be disturbed. Deep breaths, habit 4, deep breaths, so you're nice and relaxed, feeling good, feeling calm. And what you do is you remember a time, any time in your life, whatever comes up, when you felt really, really confident. Doesn't matter what the situation was, it might have been work, with friends, might have been with your family, where you felt really confident, you were maybe the centre of attention, holding court, everybody's looking at you and everything's just flowing and you feel really good. So what you do, close your eyes, you go into that memory where you just felt really confident. So you feel what you felt, you hear what you heard, you see what you saw in your mind. So you're recreating that time in your life. And what you're doing, using your mind to access this, and you want to feel it with your body, how you would have felt it at the time. Okay, it's very important. You've got a limbic system in your brain, which is the chemical factory to create any feelings in your body. It's very important you feel it in every part of your body. Now what you're going to do is amplify those feelings. Now here's where you become the sort of movie director. Take this setting where you felt confident, whatever comes up, okay, and now you can tweak it. You can imagine that there's other people come in and they're just in awe at how confident you are and how you know your stuff, whatever it is you're doing. So it makes you feel better. And the key here is you just build this up and build this up. So you've got this wonderful internal state of feeling confident. And you're just embellish this so you feel absolutely phenomenal. You can't do no wrong. Everybody's looking at you. You feel absolutely fantastic, confident that you can do anything. So it's build it up to a crescendo. Feel the feelings, magnify them, amplify them, so you feel absolutely wonderful. Okay, and then you build it up to a crescendo, and then what we're going to do is build what we call an anchor. Now, the simplest one, it's what Paul McKenna recommends, what I've used for this, is thumb and forefinger squeezed together. Now, an anchor, think of Pavlov's dog, where he would ring a bell, then feed them. After a while, just by ringing the bell, they're salivating because they've associated they're going to get fed. So what we're doing here, we're building this wonderful internal state where you feel really super confident, and then we're going to create an anchor, squeezing your thumb and forefinger together. Now you do it, once you've done it, do that, the anchor, then start and then squeeze it again. It should trigger those feelings. Now the more you do this, you can do this multiple times to build it up, squeeze it, you're building the anchor into your thumb and the forefinger. So the idea is by practicing this wonderful state, you can then turn it on anywhere you want in a day-to-day situation. So you might be in a work situation, business situation, social situation, situation where you might feel a bit tentative, and here you've got a squeeze, an anchor where you can turn on more confidence. Now, what I'll also say, Paul McKenna doesn't mention this, but what we would add is deep breaths. Deep breaths, if you're feeling anxious, deep breaths puts you into the triggers your parasympathetic nervous system and puts you in a calming state. And then squeeze this to evoke those confidence feelings. Okay, that's from the master hypnotherapist Paul McKenna. We've put all the links in the program to this. We'll talk about the book recommendation in a moment. Okay, that is very, very powerful way to do it. Something else, a little tip, because it's just come up in my mind. Deep breathing brings on the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, also squeezing your little fingernail for 30 to 60 seconds does exactly the same thing. Try it right now. Just sit there squeezing it, doesn't matter which one. Just squeeze it, give it a little squeeze, 30 to 60 seconds. You'll notice your body goes into a calm state. Same as deep breathing. So if you're in a situation where you think people notice or feel weird if I'm deep breathing, do it that way. Very easy. Nobody even knows you're doing it. You go into a calm state. Okay, and then trigger this. So practice this. But the more you practice these internal states and build it up, and play around with it, put yourself in fantasizing situations that make you feel absolutely wonderful. So you get these wonderful feelings flowing in your body, and then create the anchor. Okay, and then go out and try it. And again, it's practice. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. Okay, and then it allows you to go into more situations, more confident situations. And of course, as you go into more confident situations and things go well, it gives you more confidence to try even more. And so your experiences expand because now your comfort zone is expanding. Okay, right. So that is the key one, the inner confidence. Now we're going to give you something even, another great tool in a similar vein. Stephen showed me this a few years ago. We're all aware of this, but Stephen showed me a book, which I'm going to put on screen in a minute. Now, another way is to borrow confidence. Let's say there's somebody around you, might be in the workplace or on TV, celebrity, who you just admire, who does what you want to do. Maybe, say, from a social perspective, business perspective, just general workplace, who just makes everything look so easy and you so admire them. What you're going to do is borrow their confidence. This is known as the alter ego. Okay, so what happens is you see somebody, let's say you've got to give a little presentation and you're really nervous. You see somebody who you really admire who just makes it look an absolute breeze. And you think, okay, right, wish I could be like them. All you do is pretend you are them, because you think they could be a walk in the park for them. Okay, I'm going to pretend I'm them. It's like I'm putting them on me and I'm going to present it as them. You'll be surprised how many people who become very famous have done this. Now, the book, what I'm talking about here, which Stephen gave to me, The Alter Ego Effect. The most famous one in there, and it gives you many, many famous stories, is Beyonce. She knew she had the talent, but she was very, very nervous. So she created an alter ego called Sasha Fierce. This was in the early days, because she knew this alter ego, Sasha Fierce, could do anything. And when she became her, so she'd go through a little ritual to sort of step into her energy before she went on stage. And Sasha Fierce was not frightened of anything, fearless, a bit like Stephen. I'll come back to that in a minute. Fearless and could do the lot, and that's how she got going and got rave reviews and ultimately became very, very famous, because she didn't really have the confidence as herself, so she borrowed somebody else's. Okay, it is as simple as that. So you pick somebody you really admire who can do what you want to do, makes it look simple, and you pretend you're them. You go through a little ritual, you can carry a picture of them in your pocket, and you think, okay, right, I'm now that person. So it's as though you're acting as that person, and you're borrowing their confidence. If you're not sure, we'd highly recommend you get this book, and it walks you through it. Famous quote from Cary Grant, movie actor from 50, 60 years ago, before my time. He said, I acted like Cary Grant for so long, I became him. In other words, he was playing a character in the movies as an actor that was far more confident than he was, but he played it so often, he eventually became that person. Like, people assumed he was, and in the end he became it, but it was all acting to begin with. Okay, and that's what it's all about. You can pick anybody and become anybody. You borrow it's not you, because you're tentative, but you're pretending to be somebody else, and you get all their powers. Sounds too good to be true at first, but it is very, very simple. And that's why we recommend this book, The Alter Ego Effect, because you'll find a lot of people are faking it by pretending to be somebody else. And then, of course, you hit a point where it becomes very, very easy for you. Now, mentioned this before, concentric circles. This is all about comfort zone. By starting small and just experiencing stuff where your confidence grows, confidence, self-esteem grows. As you do something a little bit out of your comfort zone and it goes well, you go a bit further. Keep going, try a bit more, and then more doors open for you. Of course, as these things go well, what happens is energy. You feel good. You feel confident. Your mental well-being starts to go up significantly because you feel good about yourself, which means because you're feeling good, your emotional health goes up. So your heart center starts to really benefit from this, your emotional and mental health. And you have more confidence, and yeah, you want to do more with the world. Okay, it makes a lot of sense by trying these. So these are all techniques to help you build these internal states to engage more with the outside world. Okay, right, let's talk about the books I've shown you on the screen. So it's Instant Confidence, The Power to Go for Anything You Want. Great, loads and loads of tips in there for Paul McKenna, the hypnotherapist, and The Alter Ego Effect, The Power of Secret Identities to Transform Your Life, Todd Herman. Of course, nobody knows you're doing it. You can be anybody you want to with this, and nobody has a clue you're doing it, only you. But you can borrow any of their superpowers. Talking of superpowers, Stephen, you'll see in some videos, has a Batman underneath his jacket. He pretends to be Batman. Stephen has this fearless energy, and nothing phases him. But you see, he has Batman. He'll take on the energy as Batman. Why not? You can be anybody you want to be. Okay, so let's talk action steps. Also in the program, you'll see in Habit 16, in the guidebook, we've put an instant confidence guided hypnosis by Paul McKenna. Brilliant. It's on YouTube as well, where you can stick it on your headphones, 30 minutes, where he talks direct to your subconscious. It's wonderful. It's very, very relaxing. He talks direct to your subconscious. So you can increase your confidence without doing anything. You can almost drop off and just relax and get the benefit that way. And his voice, when he does it, is incredibly soothing. And yeah, it's lovely. I've used it a few times. So I recommend you trying that out as well. Okay, so action steps for this one. Check out the video resource, which is what I've just mentioned, the guided hypnosis, guided confidence, the confidence guided hypnosis, I should say. Get there in the end. Create the inner confidence anchor, which is the first exercise we did, where you build the internal state and then you use your thumb and your forefinger to create the anchor. Okay, once you've done that, you've got it forever. You can keep topping it up, play with it, make it even stronger. Consider building yourself an alter ego. And of course, everybody in the planet is available. You can have anybody you want, nobody knows. And practice displaying a confident posture. Wire out top of the head, shoulders back, look forward. You come across, your energy field comes across as a lot more confident. Okay, very, very simple, but can make a huge difference to your mental and emotional well-being. And of course, you're social because you like to more interact, and you're physical because people will they'll respect you more with a confident posture without even realizing. Okay, it's they'll just pick up on this intuitively, and give you more respect. That's just the way it works. Okay, right, that's slightly shorter one today. That is the end of Habit 16. Tomorrow night, we're on to Habit 17, and we're getting into the really good stuff, the feel-good stuff. 17, 18, and 19 is the feel-good trilogy, and very, very enjoyable habits. Okay, so if you can make it tomorrow night, Saturday night, if you're not going out and you're around at 7 o'clock, I'll be here again tomorrow night with Habit 17. Hopefully see you then. Thank you.